up? Brad Aiden Johnson here. I ain't done a video on cooking chicken in a while, so I thought I'd do this update of how to bulk cook chicken. The thing I start off with is there's my chicken. I just bought that. That was, if you're in the UK, £20 for 5 kilos. That's like, what's that? £11 for $28, something like that. Alright, I get this ready to weigh the chicken that I take out immediately, and this there, and I'm going to cut it up. Basically, just cut that up. Bang. And I'm just going to put that in there. Alright, so if I turn this on, basically, I want 12 days of chicken. I eat 300 grams of chicken, raw, uncooked, a day, so 300 times 12 is 3.6 kilos. So I'm going to go for a little bit over because there's a bit of fat on these. So I'm going to go for like 3.7 kilos of chicken. So I'm just going to keep putting the breast in there until that says 3,700. Real easy. And yes, you heard right, I'm cooking 12 days of chicken at once. Because I can't be bothered to cook chicken all the time. Look at that. 3.7, yep. That's enough. I'm going to start getting that prepared now. The rest, if you look over here, is going to go into the freezer. Yeah, and that will be for the next batch of chicken that I do. A little trick here, I always make sure I wash out the container the chicken came in, because it can, like, if you leave it around for too long, it'll start to smell. So I always wash this out, like I'm going to keep it. I'm not going to keep it, but yeah, do that. Next stage for me, under running water, I just remove the fat. Now some people like to cut it, and I'm not really into that. Basically, if it looks more or less lean, I run it under the tap, make sure it's clean. You'll feel it, like the kind of a film of fat and oiliness comes off. That'll do for me. That's clean enough. We're not trying to get it like antiseptic. I mean, you know, we're just generally trying to clean it up. So stuff like this is actually a pretty lean one. Bad example. Let's go on a fattier one. My butchers are quite good. See, stuff like that, I don't want that. So I peel that off, toss that in the bag. Yeah, I try and get as much of that off as possible, you know, stuff in there. That's all I want. And when it gets more or less lean and clean, I just toss it in the next bowl. Ready for the next stage. Yeah, so if you look here, you'll see the reason that you strip the chicken. In there it's all clean and lean. Good chicken, yum. And here is what you'd rather not eat, mostly fat. Yup, toss that, keep that. Alright, right here is the major difference between the way I cook chicken and the way you probably see everyone else cook chicken. And it's totally up to you if you want to take this step, but this is what I do. No, watch it. Scissors, I cut it into chunks before I cook it. This makes it, the reason I do this is because I eat my chicken in soup, which is why I started doing this. But even if I wasn't, it makes life so much easier. It grills faster on the grill. It's easier to apportion and measure. It's easier to season. You get more flavour. That can keep. Big breast. Yep. You just keep taking slices of whatever size you feel like. Don't have to be careful with them. Don't have to be precise. It'll all come out later. Just roughly chop them up into easier to grill, easier to measure pieces. Alright, you'll notice all the chicken's been cut up, and then I get to the seasoning stage. And if you've seen the previous chicken video I did, you'll notice that the formula is exactly the same. I don't change my recipe. I start off with sea salt for that good sodium, also for taste. Salt makes things taste nicer, and I get a good bunch of that in there. You should know from my videos, if there's anyone in the world that is not afraid of sodium, it is me. Get my sodium. Yeah, look at that. You got something to say? You got something to say? Then, white pepper. This is all for taste and for preference. You know, you could do whatever you want with this. This is just my way of doing it. Almost certainly it's going to make me sneeze in a second, so I apologise when that happens. Happens every time at some point. I can already feel the tickles beginning. Let's see if I can break through it. Black pepper. Then my garlic powder. but I love the garlic powder. Just turn it over as I'm putting in to make sure it gets on all the sides of the chicken before I finally season it up. And then I guess the secret ingredient, the only one that isn't near certain to be in your kitchen, garam masala. Oh yeah, I get a good bunch of that on it. Really make sure I get that in there. I really like this stuff. Alright, that's about enough. Then the fun bit gets stuck in. Make sure every bit of chicken is covered. Yada yada yada. Yeah, I should have mentioned before that I actually turn the Foreman grill on just before I start, chopping up the chicken, so that it's warm for about now when I'm ready to get closer to the heating bit. I put that container on, and I have 300 grams of chicken a day. These containers will hold about double that, so what I do is I put just over 600 grams of chicken in this container. Notice here I weigh before I cook, because that's just how I do it. Everyone has a different way of doing it. This is my way. I like dealing with raw numbers rather than cooked numbers, as then you have to mess around with how much water is involved in cooking processes and all that stuff. But there you go, take out a little bit of that. Oops. There you go, look at that, it's exact. That there is 2 days worth of chicken. Boom. I just do the same thing again until I've used up all the chicken. You hear that beep? That's the foreman just getting ready. So I'm going to do this until I've got containers all partitioned. Now, after doing all the chicken and partitioning them all up, I got with this one, which is 147 grams. This is the leftover. What I'll do is I'll cook this first, and I'll eat this today, and I'll just work out my macros for the rest of the day to add on what would be about 33 grams of protein from another source. But the rest of the chicken I'll cook as usual, and that will just be separated. I'll show you what I've got. Alright, remember I said we were cooking 12 days worth of chicken? Well, each one of these is 600 grams, and I have 300 grams of chicken a day, so 2 per each one, 2 times 6 is 12. That's my 12 days of chicken, with a little bit left over, which is over here, which is going to be what I eat today, and I'm going to work out the rest of my macros. So I'm going to throw that on the Foreman first, and we'll sort out, maybe I'll have some fish, maybe I'll have some McDonald's, I'll do whatever I like. Yep. Now, as you can hear, the chicken is in the Foreman there. That's my spare chicken I'm going to be eating for the day. These are the main containers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put these in the fridge, because this chicken's been sitting at room temperature for longer than I'd like, so I don't want to be leaving them out while I cook all the other chicken. The last one will be just sitting around for like 2 hours. So I'm going to put those in the fridge, and we'll take them out as each one gets finished. Okay, now I've got my 600 grams, 2 days worth of chicken here. Start off by a little bit of... I put some on more before already, and a little bit more, whatever. I then empty this 600 grams onto this. Works out that it just about fits 2 days of chicken as I cook it. Just apportion it about the grill nice and evenly. Make sure each chicken has room to breathe. It'll get a bit cramped, but the chicken will lose size in the first like 5 minutes of cooking, so that's not really a big deal. As long as none are really sitting on each other, it's all good. Yeah, as you can see there, that's all the chicken apportioned nice and neatly. Pull this down, and I'll do it at 215 degrees C, whatever that is in Fahrenheit if you like that, and I heat up for about 15 minutes to do it. Push it down here a little. There you go. Alright, this is my first batch of regular sized chicken here. Okay, and you'll see it's all done, it's all lovely, smells great, and that's my chicken. What I'll do is I'll take roughly half of that and put it in one of those and half in the other one. It works out more or less 300 grams a day. It's just the easy way for me, rather than me measuring each one and cooking each one individually or anything crazy like that. It's a couple of grams here and there. What's a couple of grams between friends? Yeah, that's basically how I bulk cook my chicken. I do this every, just under 2 weeks. This is another 600, so when this comes off the Foreman, I'll do this, and I just keep going through all those containers until I got my 12. Some will go in the freezer, most will go in the freezer, and a couple will stay in the fridge, and I just keep a rotation going. I try and keep 2 in the fridge and the rest in the freezer at all times, so that they have enough time to defrost and they're ready for eating on the day. And that's how I cook my chicken. In fact, I'm going to show you one more shot, make sure you see what it looks like when it's in the container. So yeah, that's the chicken in the containers. I eat one of these per day. This is 2 days worth of chicken, of course. I let the steam rise off them a little bit, because if you put these on and put them in the fridge now, as you see, immediately clouds up. Actually, it's quite cool to see again. Oh, fantastic. So I just let them cool down a little bit before I put them in the freezer or the fridge. I'll do this. You can see this is the other one now. This is another 600 grams of chicken, another 2 days being done. And I just keep the rotation going. They go in the freezer, they go in the fridge, and then I got chicken for the next week or so. And that's basically how I do it. Yeah. If you have any theories or suggestions or anything, let me know. BradLadingJones@gmail.com. Other than that, like the video, like my Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and of course subscribe. Peace.